Hello. Oh, there it is. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 2025 PhillyCAM annual member meeting. Woo! Awesome. Great. We have some seats. I see one here. I see one there. I see one there. These are reserved. If folks don't use them in a little bit, we will open them. Awesome. Get comfortable, get cozy with each other. Yeah, we have a really wonderful meeting for you all today. Some updates, some sharing of looking back and looking ahead. And we're also really excited for lunch. And we're also really excited for a DJ party that will be happening after some of these presentations. So thank you all so much for coming. And I'm going to hand the mic over to Gretchen, our executive director, to open us up.
Thank you. And while she's standing up here with me, please give a rousing round of applause for Gabe Castro, who has pulled all this meeting together. So thanks, Gabe. Hello. Happy annual member meeting day. I have to confess, I really needed this. I needed to see all you because this has been a really hard year. I wasn't gonna cry. I'm crying already. Oh my God. I you know, this is my speech, so we're just gonna roll with it here. But these kinds of spaces like PhillyCAM, these where we can come together, we can be in dialogue, we can meet our neighbors, see folks from neighborhoods we've never been to. Like, this is what this work is about, and I thank you for being here and for all you do. And I think you'll be hearing a theme of this throughout the meeting today. And I'm just so happy that you're here. And I think we have a lot that we have so much potential, right? And I think there's, you know, I hear it often that, well, not enough people know about PhillyCAM. You know, people don't know what you do. And so I think that, to me, this is my call out to you to help us get the word out about all the great work that you do and all the potential that we have and how we can be an ally and folks that can help, you know, communicate, you know, important stories that we're not hearing today. So anyway, that was my part. This is always a really beautiful day because we get to celebrate all the work that we do together. It's a chance to kind of show off like all the tremendous work and celebrate not only your contributions but also the staff, because they work really hard. So they have put together a fantastic program. So if you could all just take a moment and give the PhillyCAM staff a big round of applause. I will be back up in a little bit to talk about the board election and just some other stuff, and be joined by some of the PhillyCAM board members. But my biggest responsibility today is to introduce the 2024 year in review, which is always a really wonderful opportunity to kind of take a look back at all that we've done. And in some respects, it sort of sets the tone for where we're going. And I think you'll also see that echoed in this beautiful report out to you all, and they really kind of are in sync. And so if you don't have a chance to read this now, take it home, you know, look it over, give it to someone. But anyway, I think if we're ready, we're going to cue the 2024 year in review.
We're not going to have a republic if we do not make certain that truth comes out. For the last 15 years, PhillyCAM has meant that you have a voice.
Yo digo que PhillyCAM es mi casa. En el año 2024 pudimos llegar a más personas en la comunidad hispana, pudiendo educar, informar y sensibilizar en español.
Preparación, preproducción y postproducción, es muy bello el trabajo que se hace.
I was a history teacher in another incarnation, and we just looked at PhillyCAM as this huge classroom, and we could develop lessons in a different way.
Welcome to Conversations Across Time, the program that allows you to witness imaginary, honest, no-holds-barred conversations between historical personalities.
I just had this hunger to like learn more here because I wanted to do a show like Lemon TV. It just seemed like this insurmountable challenge. I took the technical director fellowship, and it taught me a lot of the skills that I needed to do a show like this.
Last year, Beyond the Bars' band Spectrum partnered with PhillyCAM and People Powered Sounds.
We're dedicated to interrupting cycles of violence in Philadelphia through music and music education.
Tell me, is it real? I'm stuck in the moment. Could you please give me a minute?
I think it's just an interesting story to tell using our alumni band because they were some of our first students. They got to experience their first time in like a studio like this. The youth in Philadelphia, they're what's next. Their fingers on the pulse, they are the tastemakers.
You kind of are told to stay in your place and to mind your business and that this is adult stuff to the point where we aren't able to form our idea of what involvement looks like and what participation in our communities look like. So last year when I was in Voices, it really helped me to see that like I have a voice, and it made me want to encourage others to find their voice as well.
Joining me in the studio tonight to celebrate this 100th episode of PhillyCAM Voices are community reporters who've been a part of PhillyCAM Voices throughout the years.
Nosotros hablamos temas que normalmente no se tocan en la comunidad y pudiendo a través del programa cambiar la narrativa de lo que somos los inmigrantes aquí en Estados Unidos y enseñarle a mi comunidad a través de nuestro programa educación, información y sensibilización en temas que nadie habla.
En estos momentos el miedo no es una opción.
Así es, totalmente de acuerdo. Nosotros sabemos y hemos estado en esta situación ya anteriormente, ¿no?
The experience at PhillyCAM has been one of collaboration.
For PhillyCAM to really, function successfully, you have to be like integrated in it as a family because you can't do the work by yourself. Everybody knows each other. Everybody has their own goals, and together we work together and we make things happen.
When I was in the Renee Smith Fellowship, we had to create a story, and we chose to talk about voting, focusing on the literacy around the election and what that means. There are these pockets in Philly where there are really big communities like at PhillyCAM that create stories that communities actually care about and that are affected by them.
And over the past couple of days, the fellows and I have interviewed youth 18 to 24 on their opinions on what's important in their community and in politics.
Local news is getting so much of a focus right now. Not that it ever wasn't important, it just wasn't being paid for. When you hear interviews from Hall Monitor, you are getting the questions that we asked and the exact answers that were given us. I have seen a group of people come into a situation totally unprepared to do that situation justice. We were there for every single hearing of the 76th place debate. If no one else was covering this, if no one else was going to be there, we were going to be there. And most importantly, we were going to give you all sides of the issue.
How powerless one can feel if you are watching network news. You're being bombarded with information that is not true. I've been doing conversations across time for 13 years now. It gives me an opportunity and all of the audience an opportunity to look at the history and look at present day politics and see that this is nothing new.
Y pueda tener la posibilidad que tengo yo de alzar mi voz ante temas que a mí me parecen importantes que se hablen en la comunidad. Sino que a través del Centro Integral de la Mujer nosotros tenemos un proyecto que se llama el Congreso Todas las Mujeres que Habitan en Mí, que es un congreso para hablar sobre temas vinculados a la mujer, escuchar su voz y hemos contado con el apoyo de PhillyCAM por 2 años.
Yo creo que hoy hemos disfrutado de una alta calidad.
I've never believed that you should just rely on one source of information. There's your truth, his truth, and the truth. And in order to find out what the truth is, you have to hear everybody's truth and see what you believe. Getting the people who are already in these neighborhoods out there to tell the stories by teaching them how to do it themselves. That is the definition of community access media.
I think there should be a lot more film screenings that PhillyCAM could do.
Yo quiero que la comunidad hispana venga.
I'm thinking that it is important for you to expand this platform. Dialogue, conversation, people communicating makes a very big difference in how we live and how we engage as citizens.
Every city should have a PhillyCAM because I think it serves a crucial purpose in our society, especially nowadays.
I think that it's a really beautiful thing that PhillyCAM is inviting anyone a part of the community to participate in having a voice and making a story.
We don't do things that you yourself can't do. If you've got a story to tell and you want to tell it yourself to make sure it's done right, go out and do that.
There it is. Thank you. No, that's amazing, right? That's kudos to all of you, our PhillyCAM community, who is making this amazing content and, voicing the things that are happening in our community and being that mouthpiece in a world right now where that feels uncertain, or we feel like we're being silenced, or feeling like we are not the center, and we are. And so really grateful for that video, and shout out to our amazing tech staff, Cam, Sergio, Roland, Riley, Dom. We're really working on that. Yeah, and so it's always really wonderful to look back, see what we've done over the past year, and then use that to motivate us into the new year. Especially right now, there's a lot of things that I think we're all feeling like we want to be in community, and we want to feel important, we want to feel strong, we want to feel like we matter. And so being here at PhillyCAM's, showing up on a day like this and showing up to future events and engagements is a great way to do that, to build those connections so that we have something firm to stand on despite anything else that's happening around us, right? And so I wanted to just shout out some of the things that we have in store for this year, and hopefully I'll see these wonderful faces there as well. So starting with our monthly feedback loops. So we started this in January. Steve was there presenting his script, and Ricky was there in the back showing his animation, and we've had it so each month. Generally the last Thursday, so next week on Thursday, we have the next feedback loop. This is a really great opportunity for members to come and hear other people's work. So people will be either pitching new ideas or showing a past episode or a piece and looking for constructive feedback. But it's a great place to, one, know what people are working on, to kind of hear and learn yourself, like what people are looking for, what suggestions they might have. Like, let's use like our community mind here to improve our work, or just to get even the inspiration to keep going and try it out, right? So this is a really great space, either as a presenter or a participant. I think it's a really great space, and if you're coming like each month, it's a great way to kind of build up those connections, and when you're ready to present, you'll already kind of have that community built in. We do have I believe like obviously this month and next month are booked up on who the presenters are, but the summer series still has openings. And so if you are interested in presenting work and looking for specific feedback, you can reach out to Laura, our education director, for that. We also have bi-monthly member mixers, so opportunities like today where we're having members just come in, super chill, just like come meet each other. We'll have like some drinks and snacks, and it's just an opportunity to connect with people. So much of our work is online that this is a great opportunity for us to like meet in person and find resources and support for your content. We have the Summer Collaborative Filmmaking Challenge. So for the past few years, we've been doing the Collaborative Challenge, which kind of adapted from the 48-hour film project. This time, woo, right? We have been doing it for over the span of a week. We're workshopping it to be something more of like a workshop in the summer. So we don't have the specific details, but it will be this summer. We have a few alum of the Collaborative Challenge in the audience. We saw some of the videos from last year there, and they're playing in the Media Lab, so you can see what we made last year. But definitely stay tuned for that. And we're also doing a lot more special topic workshops. So in addition to having our like regular core workshops where you're learning equipment and access to the space, those kinds of things, we're also having like how to interview, how to not feel shy on camera, right? We're learning photography, we're learning self-promotion, more of those softer skills to really build our portfolio as creators in this space, and so that you feel, you know, more supported as you're creating. In addition to that, like, you know, news was such a big component of that year in review, and so we do have our news programs. In the video we saw Voices in Atrevete, which is our bilingual program, where you can learn more about that by reaching out to Bettina. But we also have our radio news program, and we have Brad back there. Brad says hi. If you want to learn more about when the next fellowship is running, when those applications are out, please reach out to Brad. It is a really great space to kind of learn and build your skills where you don't have to do one whole thing by yourself. You can try out different things, and you do it in like a really safe and like collaborative space, and really learn about newsmaking with a great group of people alongside you. But I'm also we have another big event that we have every year, and so I'm inviting Annika to come up and tell us about this year's People Power Media Fest.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about PPM Fest, and when I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit. Thank you to everyone that did come out to last year's PPM Fest 2024, which was also our 15th anniversary, so we turned 15 last year. That's very exciting. We got our driver's license, come on. For this year's PPM Fest, we're going to stick to a 2-day schedule. We're going to have the first day be a kickoff event that focuses on socializing and networking and all that fun stuff. And the second day will be conference style. Our hope is to not only have members collaborate with other members, but to also make those connections with other creatives across all mediums, and really having that impact within the tri-state area. So at the moment, there is no date for PPM Fest, but we will have a confirmation date released in the coming weeks. And for those who know, PPM Fest is usually hosted in the fall time. So look out in your emails for that confirmation date, to save the date, and we can't wait to kick off PPM Fest 2025 with you guys. And that's all I have. I'm not sure who's next, so we can just hang out for a little bit. How's everyone feeling? Very good? We have Indian food coming. I'm excited. Yeah.
Can we make sure that the fest does not overlap with the election in some way that will be hard?
Oh yeah, 100%. It will not overlap with the election or football season. We're going to be we're going to be very particular with the dates for sure.
Thank you, Annika. Of course. Yes, awesome. So up next, we actually are kind of kicking off this really amazing collaboration and partnership with StoryCorps and Brightness in Black. You might have saw them in the front doing some interviews. And so just to tell us a bit more about what that is and why you should be excited about this partnership, and then a little bit about what this partnership is going to look like in this coming year, I'd like to invite up Andrea Walls.
Thank you, Gabe, and thank you, PhillyCAM, for making this space for us to share a little bit about our project that we're very excited about. For those of you who know, StoryCorps is the largest collection of human voices in the world, over 700,000 human voices. The Brightness in Black initiative is interested in highlighting voices from the Black community. In particular, we're interested in narrative change. We want to push back against all of the negative stereotypes that some of us may have become familiar with through mainstream media. So we want to dance and shout and sing and praise and give glory to the voice of Black Philadelphians. Right now, we're starting in Philadelphia and Atlanta with plans to move to Detroit, maybe Oakland, Chicago, other dynamic cities, perhaps some rural areas as well. And we are collecting stories one at a time. We want to know what brings you joy, how you push back against the things that are hard, the things that hurt, the things that other people think and say about us, having no intimacy with our real, true stories and hearts. And the way we do that is through signature interviews that you can find us on brightnessandblack.org. You can find us, an app that you can use to collect your own stories in your living room or your kitchen table. You can just Google StoryCorps app, and it will give you a step-by-step guide to collect stories within your families, within your communities, within your workspaces. And you can also come talk to me at the table out front during a break. And we're excited to see how we can use the resources of PhillyCAM to create perhaps podcasts or TV shows, just using all of the media that is available. So I look forward to hearing from you, and thank you, Gabe.
Yes, I'm very excited for that opportunity, all the different ways that we're kind of connecting and supporting each other. And so our next thing is that we, here at the member meeting, one of the big important things that we have is that we do have our board election. But I'd love to hear from our board member, Erin, to tell us a bit about some of the successes of the board, some things we're looking forward to as we lead up to the election videos.
Cool. Thanks, Gabe. Hi, everybody. My name is Erin. I have been on the board for just about a year. I was in this room a year ago, being introduced to many of you. This year, I've taken on chairing the governance committee. And what that means is I think a lot about the health of the board. So how are we working together as a board, sort of guiding Gretchen and the staff. I also sit on the WPPM steering committee, which means that I meet with PhillyCAM's great radio station staff, and we are currently in the midst of overhauling a bunch of materials for the programmers. And the board, we meet once a month or so and just do really important thinking work and resource gathering work. And we've had a few changes on the board this year, but this year there are 9. Gretchen, is that right? Is it 9? There are 9 seats open, and there are 9 people running, okay? So it's very important that everybody gets their ballot in. And so we have Charlene Horn, who's currently the chair of the board. Is Charlene here? Not yet? And Charlene is a returning board member. So is Rachel Courtney. So is Shannon McLaughlin. And so is Sharpal and Michelle Kim. So these are the people that have already been working for you for years, okay? And then incoming is Stephanie El Baruki, who started here at PhillyCAM. She founded one of the Spanish language programs, is that right? And then Trinae Nuri. Does anybody here listen to CityCast Philly? It's a podcast. There we go. We got a few hands up there. Trinae is the host of that show, and she also started her career in media here at PhillyCAM. And then John Myers is, he is the co-founder of Row Home Productions. They do a bunch of work with WHYY. They work with incredible brands, bringing both branded and narrative podcasts. And who else is new? Oh, and Jeffrey Abramowitz, who brings an incredible wealth of information and experience running organizations. And so those are the sort of incumbents and who is coming in. And we have a video to introduce these candidates. They're about a minute each, so hang tight. But if you have not yet, please vote.
Thank you, Erin. Just before that, we're actually going to invite up a different board member to kind of talk, and then we'll love to learn about our board members.
Thank you. I think PhillyCAM is the kind of board that so many nonprofits really aspire to have, because we have individual members who are running, we have folks who are nominated by organizations, but we also have board members who are appointed, who serve from the Free Library, the school district. We have Rue Landau from the city council person, and joining the board new this year is Melissa Scott, who is the CIO of the Office of Innovation and Technology, and she's here today. I'm just going to bring her up to just say a brief welcome. The Office of Innovation and Technology is a huge, that they are our key link with city government. So Melissa, it's lovely to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here today as a lifelong resident of the city of Philadelphia and a graduate from Creative and Performing Arts, where my major was acting, and having equipment such as this in our film portion of our program at Kappa it's incredible. We didn't have this type of equipment. And so I took a tour. Gretchen took me on a tour early on when I first came into my position. It's a year at this point now. And and when I took a tour through the facility, it was just so amazing, so overwhelming. And I just felt very honored to be a head of the organization that helps provide about $8 million to the public through our franchise agreement through the city of Philadelphia. It provides $8 million through 5 years for our public access television, which is PhillyCAM it receives those funds, which is great because it allows all of you here to continue to do what you do, to continue to allow your voices to be heard. But I was expecting a round of applause for $8 million. Right, yeah. So it's not all of it, but still, it's through the ecosystem of public access television, and it's important. What you all do here at PhillyCAM is so important for so many reasons, and it's so strange that the time has actually come to fruition. In not the most great way, but where our voices are being suppressed. Right? And media has come to a point where, and I saw it earlier in the video, someone mentioned that people have a hard time understanding what's real versus what's not real. So having you all with your creative spirit and energy and what you bring to this industry is highly important, and whatever I can do in my position to ensure that we get the word out about what you do here at PhillyCAM. However, the Office of Innovation and Technology through the city can help support. You have my full support, and I will be an actual working board member, right? Okay, I won't just come and just sit, and I really want to dig in. And one of the reasons why is not just because my love for the arts through how I was reared, but also you don't see many CIOs that look like me, right? Like, that's not normal. And so what I have charged myself to do is I have to make sure that I Sankofa, give back to my community, reach back, and make sure that I do whatever I can do while I'm in this position to pave us forward. So thank you so much, Gretchen, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the event today.
Thank you. Really appreciate you being here. And just quickly, there are a couple other board members here in the room. Do you just want to stand up and be acknowledged? I see Aaron. I thought Charles Clark was here. Oh, Dan, Aaron. So Anyway, just oh, and Rachel's there. So yeah, so and Chris in the back. So just want to acknowledge them for all their work. If you have a question, you should have gotten an email. If you have not voted yet, you should, and you're a current PhillyCAM member, you should have received an email this morning from Election Buddy at 10:30, or have gotten a text, and you can log into that and cast your ballot. If for some reason that didn't happen, I can give you a paper ballot, and I'll do that after this portion of the meeting, and I'll be up by the front desk. Okay? Thanks.
Awesome. So let's check out the videos of our who you're going to be electing to our board.
Hello, PhillyCAM community. My name is Trinanary, and I'm asking for your vote so I could serve as a PhillyCAM board member. PhillyCAM is so special to me because here is where I got my early start as a journalist. Back in 2015, I was a part of the inaugural cohort that actually launched PhillyCAM Voices. And since then, I've been a producer, reporter at WHYY. I hosted season 2 of the Philadelphia Young Playwrights podcast called Mouthful. I've worked at Wall Street Journal, and now I'm the host of a daily news podcast called CityCast Philly. As a mother and woman, representation matters to me, and I want to amplify diverse voices while being on the board. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to serving you.
Hello, familia. This is Stephanie Albaruki. I am running for the board, and it is my honor to introduce myself to some of you. Some of you may know me, but some of you may not know my trajectory with PhillyCAM. I was actually one of the first producers of Atrévete, the bilingual show that literally opened the doors for other Latino, Hispanic, Espanol speaking shows on PhillyCAM. And ever since then, I stay connected. I actually went on to expand my experience as an educator, as an adjunct professor at Esperanza College of Eastern. I have taught several introduction classes where I have really enjoyed just working with the youth and doing a lot of work. But also, I also serve on the board of directors of Esperanza Immigration Legal Services. So I have a passion for immigration, for Latino voices, and so many other things that I can't wait to tell you and meet you. So hopefully I get to see you soon.
Hi, PhillyCAM community. My name is Sharp Hall, and I am running for my 3rd term of the PhillyCAM board. I have a sort of a background in radio. I first got involved with PhillyCAM by working on WPPM. In my day job, I'm a software developer. For PhillyCAM right now, I'm the board's treasurer, so I'm hoping to go into a 3rd term with that role. And I hope you vote for me. Thanks.
Hi, my name is John Myers. I'm a radio producer and the co-founder of Row Home Productions here in Philadelphia. We specialize in making radio documentaries, podcasts, and audio tours. I've called Philly home for more than 25 years. I've lived in Chinatown, Germantown, Northern Liberties, and currently West Philly. Before founding Row Home, I had a 20-year career in public radio. I got my start as a volunteer at WXPN and went on to work as a producer on the NPR shows World Cafe and Fresh Air with Terry Gross. I care deeply about the craft and the medium of radio and really enjoy sharing what I've learned over my career with others. And I believe that this passion that I have aligns with PhillyCAM's mission to provide opportunities for people to express themselves and to learn. I would be honored to serve as a PhillyCAM board member. Thank you for your consideration.
Hello, PhillyCAM. My name is Michelle Kim, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm an educator, organizer, and proud dog mom. I've called Philadelphia my home for over 10 years, and I truly see it as my community. Pouring my energy into this community is deeply important to me, and I do that through my work on the Udi Center board, as well as volunteering and working with various community-based organizations. I'm a lifelong learner, and you can see that through my passion and dedication to professional learning. Currently, I serve as the Director of Professional Development at the School District of Philadelphia. I have the privilege there of managing a team of talented professional learning specialists, where together we lead numerous initiatives and directly impact thousands of teachers and school-based staff every single month. What truly draws me to PhillyCAM is its unwavering commitment and its powerful work in uplifting the voices of those who are often marginalized. PhillyCAM engages in counter storytelling, a practice I deeply value, by providing a platform along with the necessary tools, resources, and support. PhillyCAM empowers community members to share their own stories, challenging the dominant narratives that often exclude them. Supporting this vital work is incredibly meaningful to me, and I am committed to contributing my expertise and skill set to the continued growth and expansion of the organization. As an educator and someone who has dedicated many years to working with and for nonprofits, I bring a wide range of skills, including systems-level thinking and planning, coaching and development, facilitation, project management, and much more. I'm truly honored to be considered for a position on the board once again. Thanks. Bye.
Hi, my name is Rachel Courtney, and as you can see, my skills lie much more in radio than in film. I've been a PhillyCAM board member for 2 years now, and I've served as secretary of the board and co-chair of the WPPM steering committee in that time. I work at Community Legal Services, and I've been in community radio for, I guess, cumulatively about 20 years. I feel so lucky to have the opportunity to help steer this amazing organization and make it even stronger for our community, our members, our staff, and our leadership. And I just want to say that robust community-based media is going to be even more crucial than ever in the next few years, and I look forward to rising to this challenge along with all of you. Thank you.
My name is Charlene Horn. I'm a videographer, editor, and multimedia content creator. I began my career right here in Philadelphia at CBS Television and spent several decades there as the video production supervisor for Eyewitness News. I worked hard and earned a reputation for being someone who consistently went above and beyond to contribute to the success of the news operation. I'm an Emmy Award-winning editor, a PABJ Impact Award honoree, and I've been inducted into the Broadcast Hall of Fame. In my heart, I believe that all of my experiences position me to contribute to the board in ways that support its growth, success, and most importantly, the people who make up the PhillyCAM community, you. My vision is to ensure that PhillyCAM continues to be a space where diverse voices are amplified, new media makers are nurtured, and innovative storytelling thrives. With my passion, leadership, and dedication, I will work to make PhillyCAM an even stronger platform for expression, education, and engagement. I'm asking for your vote to help shape the future of our media community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeff Abramowitz, and I'm running as a candidate for the PhillyCAM Board of Directors. I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself today and why I'm running for this position. I was born and raised in Philadelphia and was a trial lawyer for over 20 years in Philadelphia. I also served as a director at Community Learning Center in Philadelphia, which is now Beyond Literacy, and as an executive director at Jevs Human Services. Today, I am the CEO of the PD Green Program, which is a national nonprofit that provides educational support for individuals both behind and beyond the walls of the prisons and jails we have in our country. Of all the things I've accomplished in my career, I am most proud of the work that I've done as the creator and host of the Looking Forward show at PhillyCAM for the past 8 years. Why am I running? Well, I hope to bring my skills as an advocate, educator, administrator, and executive to make PhillyCAM one of the best sources to turn to hear the remarkable things that are happening in our community. Now, more than ever, we need to be able to give voice to our leaders and those making change happen in the world. And PhillyCAM can and will be the place that people turn to hear those wonderful things. I'm looking forward to serving PhillyCAM and the entire organization. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shannon McLaughlin-Rooney, and I am excited to be standing for my second term with PhillyCAM. I originally came to the institution because of my connection with Community College of Philadelphia. We have a long-standing history with PhillyCAM, so I'm very pleased to have been introduced to PhillyCAM through the college, where I am the Vice President of Enrollment Management and Strategic Communications, so I do a lot of media work at the college myself. What I love most about PhillyCAM is not just the wonderful programming, but also the training that we offer everyday citizens in Philadelphia for how to make their own media. My research background is in the effects of the mainstream media on public understanding of all kinds of events, so I'm really passionate about making everyday citizens able to create their own media and their own narratives about their own lives. So really excited to be joining for a second term, where I hope to continue to make connections between the college and our students, and also help people in Philadelphia understand that they have this wonderful resource right in their own backyard. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Hey, awesome. Yes, and as we hopefully welcome some new board members, we're also saying goodbye to some board members. And so the lights are coming. I'm in the darkness. That's showbiz, baby. Awesome. Woo! So I would love to welcome up board member Charlene Horn and Executive Director Gretchen Klassing to give those.
Thank you. I had a thought, and then anyway, I just I appreciate you all watching, and I thank the candidates for making those videos and for you to be here to see them, because I think sometimes it's a little bit of a mystery, like what does the board do and who are they, and I think you'll see that just the selection of the board are people that are bringing a diversity of skills and experiences, and I really look to them as being key to my ability to do my job. And so if you have any interest about knowing more about the board, or maybe being on a committee or things like that, you can talk to me, you can talk to Erin. We're happy to tell you more about how it all works. A tradition that we've started probably about 10 years ago, as people were terming off of the PhillyCAM board, we would give them a proclamation and kind of celebrate their commitment to the organization, and it just worked out that we weren't able to do it this year. So I'm like, well, why don't we do it at a member meeting? It would make more sense to do it in front of more people than just the board. So we're going to do that now. So Dan Winokur, could you please come up here? So Dan was with us for 2 years, and we're going to give him this proclamation and thank him for his service. So I will just bear with me as I read through this. So we are expressing gratitude and bestowing honor upon Dan Winokur. Whereas Dan Winokur concludes his time as a director on the board of PhillyCAM in March 2025, and whereas he was elected to the board in 2023, and while serving as the co-chair of the Resource Development Committee, he contributed his writing and marketing savvy to craft new strategies to communicate PhillyCAM's impact and value. And whereas so committed to the PhillyCAM mission, Dan joined board meetings by any means necessary, even calling in while traveling home to Philly by train more than once. He wanted everyone in Philadelphia to know all that PhillyCAM has to offer to lift up storytelling that speaks truth to power, brings communities together, and combats harmful narratives. And whereas the community standing of PhillyCAM, its producers and members representing zip codes from across the city of Philadelphia, remains responsive to our constituents' needs and created more opportunities for residents to express themselves for Dan's contributions on the board of directors, and whereas he has earned the deep affection, gratitude, and admiration of his fellow directors, be it therefore resolved by the board of directors and the membership of PhillyCAM that with this proclamation, we extend appreciation for all Dan Winokur has given to support PhillyCAM, its members and staff, and its mission to provide transformative opportunities for people to express themselves, learn from each other, and to produce and share media reflective of the experiences of everyday people. So thank you. Wait. Oh. Okay. All right.
Hey, everybody. So it is my pleasure and honor to read this next proclamation. I've learned so much from this person since my first day on the board. 4 years ago, I have watched her in action. I listened to her, and I've just learned so much. So, you know, she is very deserving of this proclamation. I'd like to call Elizabeth Estrada to the front. Hey, Elizabeth. Okay, I'm going to read this. Bear with me. You got to hold this and the microphone and read at the same time. No, I'm good. I'm going to make this work. Proclamation expressing gratitude and bestowing honor upon Elizabeth Estrada. Whereas Elizabeth Estrada concludes her time as a director on the board of PhillyCAM in December 2024, and whereas she was elected to the board in 2019, served 3 consecutive terms, co-chaired the Member Relations and Community Engagement Committee, and in 2022 became the first Latina board chair. She was dedicated to ensuring that PhillyCAM remained a welcoming and accessible place where storytelling combats harmful narratives and gives voice to the underrepresented, and whereas Elizabeth often spoke enthusiastically of finding her own community at PhillyCAM when she first moved here from New York City. She consistently brought her warmth and energy to any PhillyCAM meeting, workshop, event, or broadcast. She led with directness and held herself and others accountable to our values and energized us to make PhillyCAM the best community media center in the country. And whereas the community standing of PhillyCAM, its producers and members representing zip codes from across the city of Philadelphia, remains responsive to our constituents' needs and created more opportunities for residents to express themselves for Elizabeth's contributions on the board of directors, and whereas she has earned the deep affection, gratitude, and admiration of her fellow directors, be it therefore resolved by the board of directors and the membership of PhillyCAM that with this proclamation, we extend appreciation for all Elizabeth has given to support PhillyCAM, its members and staff, and its mission to provide transformative opportunities for people to express themselves, learn from each other, and to produce and share media reflective of the experiences of everyday people. Passed unanimously by the PhillyCAM Board of Directors on this 22nd day of March 2025. Thank you, Elizabeth. I love you. I have to give you your flowers.
Do you want to say anything?
You should say something, yes.
Hi, everyone. That was absolutely the most beautiful introduction that I've ever received in my life. So thank you, Charlene and Gretchen. I'll try to be quick because I know that there's a show that must go on. But I just want to give my utmost appreciation and love and thanks for PhillyCAM and everything that it's been to me over the past 7 years. Before I moved to Philly, I remember reading about PhillyCAM and Atrévete, and I was like, I have to go in there. I have to meet these people. I have to be a part of this community. And I immediately joined upon my moving here. I took so many different classes that really helped me shape my career, that helped me build community, make friends, hopefully lifelong friends, and really build my experience as a leader through being not only a board member, but ultimately a chair of a committee on the board and eventually becoming the board chair. There's so much that I want to say, but I guess in this moment where there's a lot of discussion in our country about DEI and that being seen as a threat to our society, I just want to say that that is such a core and important value here in PhillyCAM. We heard it from all of the board members or future board members who are running, right? Diverse voices in our city. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are important, and we will not be told otherwise. We know it because we see all different kinds of folks coming through here in PhillyCAM, learning, sharing, connecting, telling their stories, and that is something that we try to uphold also on the board itself, making sure that it's representative of the membership here in PhillyCAM, but also of the city as well. So I just want to say thank you to Gretchen, to the board, past, present, and future, to the staff, to everybody who's walked through the doors here at PhillyCAM for bringing their whole selves to this space, for creating space for their narratives, for the stories of others, for listening, for fighting, for advocating, and for continuing to show up to make sure that this space continues to be here for future generations, of which I just made a little person who I hope will continue to reap the benefits of a space like PhillyCAM. So thank you all so much. It's been such a pleasure, such a joy, such a privilege to serve on the PhillyCAM board, to be a part of this community, and let's make sure that it continues to be here for generations to come.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, feeling really, really appreciative of our board and our membership. And so we're going to go into a brief break, like 10 minutes, potty break, stretch your legs, meet someone new. But then we're coming back in here 12:30 because we're going to have our pitch session. This happens every year during the member meeting. It's a great opportunity to learn about what folks are working on, see how you can jump in and support them, make something really cool. And then after that, we have our lovely awards. There we go. Continuing this vibe of appreciation for some of our members. We do want to recognize them for the work that they've done over the years. And so we're going to first do this break before. Yes.
Do we have to have registered our virtual votes before?
It's gotcha. It should be still open. Yes. I believe it's like the end of the day.
By the end of the day?
It's midnight. Thank you. Thanks, Erin. Yeah, so for the break, the first stop that I want everyone to make is actually outside so we can take a wonderful group photo. I want to get all the wonderful faces that have joined us today, and we can celebrate, and that we use that on all of the promotion materials throughout the year. So if you could meet me and our lovely photographer, Dom, outside. We're going to hold up the PhillyCAM sign and take a picture, and then you use your potty breaks and then come back in here. Excellent. I do. Aha, thank you. Okay, awesome. Thanks, everyone. Come on in, have a seat. Come on in, have a seat, get comfy. Amazing. So we have, no, you're muted, baby. You're muted. Oh, thank you. I got you. I got you. We're professionals. That's cool. It's cool. I also spent 3 minutes trying to figure out the beginning. Awesome. Great. All right, everyone. Welcome. So we're going to kick off our pitch session. During this session, we have 5 pitches of programs that are actively being created and need a little extra kick, some support from crew and other things. Thank you. Oh, thank you. And so we have 5 pitchers. How this is going to go is our pitchers are going to come up. They're going to tell you a bit about their show, why it's amazing, why you should really care and want to support it. And then we're going to open up for a few minutes of any feedback or comments or suggestions, or if you're like, I want to do that, or I know a friend, whatever it is, have a few minutes of that. There is going to be contact information on the screen, so feel free to grab a picture of that, or if you want to connect with that pitcher during lunch or anything like that, feel free to do that as well. All right? So we ready to go? Can I get a thumbs up? People who can? Awesome. So I'm going to invite up our first pitcher. Yeah, they'll come in and they'll get seated. I think that's okay. So I'm going to invite up our first pitcher, which you did see already today in our lovely year in review video, already advocating so strongly for the importance of community media. I am personally such a big fan of Vivian's show. I think it's entertaining, but it's super educating as well. I think it's one of the more unique things that you're going to see on television, and it's really needed right now. As a tool for guidance and kind of understanding this political landscape that we're in right now. And that's by learning from the past and, implementing those tools for the future. So Vivian Crawford, come on.
Oh, gosh. First of all, this is exciting for me to see this many people. PhillyCAM is in my heart and has been here for a long time. I see some of my camera people here. I've been at PhillyCAM, and I guess that was covered already. And I came in, and Debbie was teaching a producer's class, and just said, does anybody have an idea? And I, in another incarnation, was a history teacher. And so I just thought this would be really great for this idea that's been germinating. And so what my show is, it's called Conversations Across Time. So I get ordinary people, and when I say ordinary people, I don't mean that they're ordinary in that sense. I just mean that they're not actors. They are just people who are passionate about history and politics. And this is the convergence of history and politics. So I get folk to portray iconic historical figures and from different time periods. And then in the beginning, it was with myself, and my co-host was a woman who had been a state representative for 26 years by the name of Babette Josephs. Babette passed. And so we've just kept on with the show. But the idea is that we are discussing what is going on today, but we want the historical person to give us their perspective. So you can imagine, for those of you that are at all interested in politics and government, you can imagine what it must have been like to have a conversation with James Madison, who was what? One of the original authors of the Constitution. So right now, James Madison is spinning in his grave, and we just thought we needed to have an opportunity to present how he would view things. And we've done some interesting pairings. I did bring a couple of pieces from my older shows with me. We put Fidel Castro together with James Madison, and I think, I'm trying to remember if it was Richard Nixon or Kennedy, but at any rate, you can see how in today's political climate, it would be very interesting to hear what these people have to say. Now, I guess that's enough of a pitch, is it? Oh, so I'm getting ready to, yes, support. So when we first started doing the show, we did it here in the main studio. And I had a producer and a director and sound people and camera people and production assistants and researchers, all of that. And COVID kind of did a number on everyone. So we're now operating in the Express studio. But one of the things that has come to my attention and that some of my former folk that worked on this show contact me constantly because they've gone on to bigger and better. Is this microphone still hot? It feels like it's not. Oh, they've gone on to bigger and better things, and I am so proud of them. I can mention a couple of them. Mark Abrams has gone on, and Mark Abrams is doing a lot of work in Washington, D.C., working with Democratic Committee, and producing for a lot of politicians whose names you would know. And Charles Gregory started with me. I'm trying to think of who. Andrew Karn. Andrew is very busy right now. But the point of it is, the support that we need right now is I think we should do a podcast. That's what Mark Abrams keeps saying. We have to do a podcast. So look at me. I am not a techie. So when you say podcast, I'm like, yeah, okay. And so I am interested in finding someone that would want to do that. I can tell you that from things that are happening in national programming, Rachel Maddow's people watch our show because she comes to some of the things. We did a series on warm water, and like right after it aired, she was doing a series on warm water. And so that has to do with Russia. When I say warm water, they don't have a warm water port, so consequently they always have to be at war with with countries that can give them access to the Atlantic trade routes. That's probably a little tidbit that you hadn't really connected that dot. So I'm interested in someone that can help with podcasting. I see a gentleman here who worked with us for the first time. Anthony worked with us for the first time. He did our shows, and yes, Mr. Butler. I'm just looking at people that I've worked with over the years. Thank you for all of your camera work. You've been wonderful, and you've been such a supporter of the show. So that's pretty much what we need. We have resigned to doing it in the Express studio simply because, as I said, COVID, people are still wary and they don't want to be around a lot of people, and I get that. And then I also know that some people don't want to work on the show because they're afraid that 45, 47 might come out against them and do whatever he's claiming to do, because we're very, very vocal about the Orange Man. So that being said, I do have a couple of cards. My contact information is here. Did I miss anything?
No, does anyone have any comments or thoughts that they want to share? Otherwise, absolutely connect with Vivian. She'll be here, and she's looking for support.
And we always need actors. Always need actors. If there's a historical figure that you're really revving to play, give me a call. We will fashion, but it has to be something that's of historical significance, and you can figure out how your character would relate to what is going on today.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God. That's so sweet. Amazing. All right, we're going to make some space for our next pitcher.
All right. Thank you, Gabe, and thank you, Vivian. So glad to see you all. For those who don't recognize me, I'm Allison. I'm PhillyCAM's radio program manager, and I help manage things with our community radio station upstairs. And I'm so thrilled to welcome one of our regular series programmers to the stage to talk about his show. He's doing really amazing stuff with his music program. And he's looking around the room right now. So he's somebody who came to PhillyCAM probably about 3 years ago now, and came with some serious motivation and got started and just kept rolling on. So let's welcome Matt Kornfeld to the stage.
Before I start, I just want to say I would be an actor on that show for sure. Is it improvised or do I use a script? Yeah, so if I knew enough about a person, I would do it, but I wouldn't want to misrepresent that person. That would be. Okay, we'll chat. I would love it. Yeah, I'll be Benjamin Franklin. I don't know. That was the first thing I thought of. So I'm Matt Kornfeld, sometimes known as Honest Matt, and it's such an honor. It's the coolest thing. It's the lost dream awakened for me to be a part of WPPM, like our radio station. I'm all about WPPM. I really am, and Allison's like my mentor. To me, it was something that I put away a long time ago. I went to school to be on the radio in the 90s, and I wasn't a real good student. And I put that away. I thought that was never going to happen. And one day, I know Debbie, and one day and my son was all into like making reels and stuff like that. And I said, oh, hey, maybe Debbie will let him play with the camera or the microphone. And I just brought him down here. And then I'll say this, I was called. If anybody's like kind of knows what I'm saying, like this was calling. This is a thing of passion. Sometimes people ask me like, are you a musician or whatever? I'm like, nah, I play the radio. And that's the facts, that's what I do. And I've been making mixtapes a long time. But originally what I got to do at WPPM was do a mental health and spirituality once a month special. That's a lot to produce. It takes a lot to produce it. It was called The Healing Effect and the Power of Music, and it was a beautiful thing. And it probably wasn't too sustainable for me to do by myself. I mean, that is a fine idea for a program, and I think it would be right at home, and with a big production team, it could be done very well. But then Allison said the most wonderful words to me one day. She said, Matt, you want to just play some records? And I said, I can bring my records from home? Yeah, she said, yeah. And I said, and I could just play whatever I want? So I got my Flash Gordon record, Queen, and I got my Frank Zappa record, and I just came down and I did a set. And what has grown from that is something that is not something that I could have predicted or imagined. It's something called the Ultimate Mixtape. And on the Ultimate Mixtape, what I get to do is I get to collaborate with the community, and there's no boundaries. Like, I grew up listening to WFMU, okay, if anybody's familiar with what that is. And by the way, our sister station, WBAI, I would listen to on... Yeah. I actually played on my very special Bob Dylan episode, I played a little bit of Cynthia Gooding from WBAI. Anyway, so what has happened is this thing has grown into something completely not from what I imagined. I'm just holding a space. And I've had people come in like, has anybody ever heard of the School of the Gifted? Heroic Poet? Okay, there's a swell, a wonderful hip-hop community, people who support each other, not just in music, but it's a community, and it's a really super positive thing. And it was a very big moment of pride for me to have somebody come in and not just spit bars over like freestyle lyrics, like in this, like we was doing it like it was Hot 97 for real, and it was cool, but it also they talked about their community, and they talked about they have something called glue or whatever, and they're people, they're helping each other out. But I've also had poets on the show, and as a matter of fact, I was so excited to see that StoryCorps was here. And I've already connected with StoryCorps and for the person who's here, and they're going to be on the show. So there's no limit to what it is. It's bluegrass, it's metal, it's poetry, and it always does. It does keep coming back to the healing effect and the power of music. Just this past Thursday, there was a woman called Jo who's going to host something called Philly John Song Circles in East Falls. So there's a community called Singing in Love. And this is not for performance. This is a whole big thing for me to get into. So what do I need, right? This is what you guys need me to get to, because it's just supposed to be 3 minutes. I'm inviting you to collaborate with me if you like. If you know of a band, or if you know of something that you think would be cool on this ultimate mixtape, this kind of free-form thing, please just hook up with me. The thing logistically that I'm not good at, I'm really bad at social media. And some of the artists that I brought in Monica Lynn Chase, if anybody's familiar with her, Kufnats and Christine, they do their social media is off the chart. They're really good, but they've been in the studio with me before. There was a young lady who I met in the singing love community, Carolyn Del Piano. Anyways, I go on and on about the guests. I'm not really great about sharing with the community, that stuff on social media. I'm not good at that. So if anybody wants to be my point person on that, that would be great. Also, a lot of times I arrange for live performances in the studio, and that has been like guerrilla warfare for me. It's been challenging, and I'm up for the challenge or whatever, but it gets pretty heavy in there, man. And I just, for the first time ever, when I had M. Sparks on Thursday night, had microphone stands. It was the first time ever. But anyway, so that's my whole pitch. Again, it's just so great to be a part of the community. It's really nice to thank you for listening.
Thanks, Matt. Oh, we have a question. Okay, connection. Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Just for time, I think we're gonna move to the next pitch. And I'd say there's the contact information for the pitchers here, and then also feel free to connect with them during our break times and lunch and all of that to be able to support folks. But I'm going to invite up our next pitcher, who you also saw in the year in review, which was highlighting our Spanish bilingual program at Trévete, and after helping and assisting on that program, has went on to create his own program, and also is looking to support other folks in the space. But looking for support on his program is Eric Barragan. Come on out.
Hey guys, first of all, thank you for having me here. I'm really happy to be in front of you. I know that being in front of a camera sometimes might be terrifying. It's not easy, right? To start playing and do the things. Actually, I came to the United States 7 years ago, almost 8. And the most important thing that I have, my refuge, is to watch movies. And I enjoy a lot to watch reviews and analysis after that. And I always have this kind of tickle to do a show about it. I have initial space in Philatinos Radio, and I exploded it. I am still producing the show in there. And then I had the opportunity to be part of Atrévete and receive a more thorough training on producing, recording, editing. Thanks to PhillyCAM, that's a great program. If you know of somebody who wants to be part of either Atrévete or Voices, I welcome you to invite people, because that's a first step for a lot of people to start producing things that might only give to the community and also give back. And little by little, I have been able to interview people who I might like to interview, to expand my mind, to watch movies from other niche, like Hollywood, because there are a lot of independent films. A lot of those films are produced in Philly. There are great filmmakers and great producers in Philly. There are great festivals. There is other thing that happens in Philly. There are there is Black Star, and there is a Latino film festival here in Philly. There is Asian Film Festival as well. So when you hear about films, you think about New York, or you think about LA or other places. But Philly is home from great filmmakers. And sometimes I try to reach out and tell the filmmakers, let's record a program, let's talk about what is happening about film here in Philly. Maybe sometimes I reach filmmakers outside of the country. I had the pleasure lately to collaborate with a film fest called Etreon, that is a horror film fest in Argentina, Mexico, and Bogota. And I'm trying to bring it here to Philly, to the Latino Film Festival. So sometimes I try to coordinate everything, and I try to do everything on my own, and it's kind of hard, because I have to talk to the directors, to look for the invitees, schedule, program, editing, uploading. And sometimes even if I'm speaking English right now, so I don't feel that I speak that good English, and sometimes need assistance like in having like a co-host, and because I'm in the controls, like working on StreamYard, and at the same time I'm checking the like everything. So it's kind of crazy. So if anybody is kind of interested in movies, series, all kind of media, because I like any kind of things, I don't have any kind of like a restriction. I'm really opening. I can watch cartoons, I can watch movies, I can watch animation. I like a little bit of everything. So please get close to me. I would love to have like collaborators and to overall like have additional hands, and I can share. It's a nice experience to interview people who is passionate about it. And I think like media and film and all of this is like an escape from sometimes this tough reality that we face every day. So thank you, and well, write to me if you want to. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Yay. Another thing that Eric also mentioned is that he does attend some of the events, like the Fan Expo, which is kind of like our Comic-Con here in Philly, or things like that, where you can be talking to and connecting to creators in that way. So like getting footage live there and supporting his program. And Eric is also a really great supporter and is happy to kind of swap resources. So on to the next one.
All right, coming back onto the stage here for a moment to tell you all about a project that we actually introduced at last year's annual member meeting, and we're really excited because we are about a year into development with this program. It's a new or newish music showcase program that is simulcast, so it's recorded and airs on television as well as on our community radio station, WPPM. So the show is People-Powered Sounds, and just generally the idea is for us to once a month capture a live performance here in the main studio, and ensure that we're highlighting local artists from kind of all walks, all genres. And the idea is that there's an interview portion of each episode where those artists talk about their music in the context of community in some way, shape, or form. So talking about a particular music scene locally or venues that they're regularly at, other artists that inspire them, that kind of stuff, as well as any mission that the band may have. If there's a political message there or some other kind of story, it's an opportunity to share about those things. So it's a great program, and this is a show that is a PhillyCAM flagship program. So it's something that originally staff developed with support from interns and co-ops. And we are looking to invite members to be more a part of this show now that we're about a season in of kind of forming an identity. So first of all, would highly recommend folks check out our episodes, which are on PhillyCAM's YouTube page. You'll get a sense of how we tape the show, the aesthetic, all those things. And to kind of get straight to the asks, at this point, we are looking to work with members who are maybe a little more experienced. For those who are, taking classes and are looking for a next step, this is a good opportunity to explore using some different cameras from PhillyCAM, and also for those who consider themselves audio engineers in some way, shape, or form. We're excited to offer the opportunity for people to work on the, with the audio console here in the main control room. That's a super short version of what we're looking for. Definitely please find me if you're interested, and also Riley and Sergio and other staff members and Roland are able to share a little bit more about this program. So that's all. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Allison. Yeah, definitely check it out on YouTube. Clips were also in the year in review. We're really proud, and in your member report, the big radio programming page is a clip from here. Yes.
Is that recorded like consistently, like every Wednesday, or is it just when you have it?
It airs.
So it airs every Wednesday at noon, but it is taped once a month, typically the last Friday of the month in the afternoon. Our shoots are typically 11 a.m. to about 3 or 4 p.m.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you for that question. Awesome. So we're going to move on to our next presenter, our last presenter for the pitch session, and then we're going to go into our award ceremony to just recognize some of the greatness of some of our members, and then we're at lunch. We're so close, everyone. But I'd love to welcome up our last and certainly not least pitcher, Nicole Ayers, to tell us more about Mad Lab Post. Come on up.
Thank you, Gabe. Hello, everyone. First off, I do want to thank Gabe and the entire PhillyCAM staff for giving me a few minutes to pitch my show and ask for some help. For those of you who already know me, it's great to see you guys again. For those of you who I have not met yet, nice to meet you. I am Nicole Ayers. I'm a local media artist here. I've been involved with PhillyCAM for a very long time, since actually before they moved into this very building. But currently I am the producer of a television show called The Mad Lab Post. It's an entertainment news show that introduces people to a lot of international short films from around the world, as well as films that are made here locally. And it runs the gamut from everything from comedy to, say, a fiction drama about a young, overweight boy who's trying to build his self-esteem, to a documentary about a man who works in the wild and takes people on tours to learn about wild animals and live with wolves, things like that. I also kind of give viewers a view of the set while people are making their films. And the intention behind the show is to inspire people to get out into the world and kind of explore things that are in your backyard and explore the world. The world is much bigger than Philly, and I want to encourage residents to get out and explore their local and wider universes. In addition to showing short films, I also provide information about what's happening on the film festival circuit at Sundance, at Cannes in France, and a lot of other festivals around the world. I also take viewers, I think I may have mentioned this, onto the set, so you get to kind of visit the set through your TV screen or your computer screen and see how films are being made, how the directors are casting the actors, how they're shooting, what kind of cameras they're using, what experiences they're having while they're on location. Can they shoot this scene, or do they have to leave because the street is being shut down because there's like a fire happening or something crazy going on? And so that's kind of the gist of what the show is about. Currently, I am looking for editors. That is my most pressing need. I do welcome hosts as well, so that I don't have to host the show myself or do the narration. I do collaborate with other members. I am currently the voice of a wrestling commentator on the Marquee Show. So I'm open to collaboration as well. I also welcome funding. So if you have deep pockets or a generous uncle, I am taking contributions for that. But if you edit, holla at me, we could talk. Thank you for the time.
Of course. Thank you so much for sharing, Nicole. Again, for folks who want to get in touch, I recommend taking a photo of this slide if you can. And we are really excited to move into our next segment of the program, which is what we'll get into before lunch. And here's Gabe's mic. So I'll let Gabe take the floor.
Sure, thank you. So this is a part of our member meeting that had kind of taken a back seat over the past few years. We had different ways that we were acknowledging members, and we had like the Cammies, if people remember, which is like the PhillyCAM Emmys, We had like our award show and things like that. And but in the Wayback Machine of PhillyCAM, we would have these moments, especially at the member meeting, where we would, just acknowledge some of the work and the personality and the excitement of our members, and just kind of take that moment to celebrate the work that they've done in contributing to the beautiful community that is PhillyCAM. So we're reviving it, bringing it back, and really, really excited to acknowledge these members who've done so much work and have really made this a wonderful space to create and learn and grow. And so I'm going to pass the mic here to Gretchen to start off our awards with one of the core ones that we're really, really honored to have back.
Thank you. I actually did write some stuff this time, but we'll see if I go off script. So one thing I forgot to mention in the beginning was that we celebrated our 15th anniversary last year. So 15 years, and you're like, wow, like 15 years, like where did that go? And so then that gets us thinking about a lot of things. And some of you may have been here 10 years ago, and there was a really beautiful human who worked here. Debbie and I knew we were both going to cry, so we're like, anyway, his name was Vijay Mohan, and Vijay worked in the equipment room, and he knew everyone, was everyone's friend and confidant and helper, and we lost him tragically in a bike accident in May of 2015. So it'll be 10 years this year. And it was a huge loss to not just the PhillyCAM community, but he was very involved with the Black Star film community, with folks at CineSpeak, and he was a filmmaker who studied at Temple, and saw the real possibility of media to make social change, and he was very committed to justice, and so it was a huge loss. And so we created this award in his memory. All right. I thought I could pull it together, but so we thought it was fitting. Charles. Thank you, Charles. He's such a good board member. And so, I think it was always bothering me that when we stopped doing the camis and we weren't, because we had incorporated this award into the camis, and I was like, oh, we painted and took Jay's picture down, and there were just like things. So I'm really happy that we're able to say his name in the space again and remember him. And we have a beautiful person that we're going to give this award to today. And so I'm very honored to give this award to someone who exhibits many of Jay's amazing qualities, being generous, supportive, a good listener, always there to help, and there to talk about real stuff and just not fluff, and is always in a really good mood. So it gives me great pleasure to give the Vijay Mohan Spirit Award to Michelle Clark.
I love you, PhillyCAM. Staff, I don't care what you do. I love you. That's all I can say.
Yay! Absolutely. Yes, Michelle has been involved in so many programs. I can't, there's no end to the names of people here who've been touched by the wonderful spirit of Michelle, who's worked so hard on other people's stuff and has finally launched her own show, the Poetic Chat and Chew. So very proud of you and happy to honor you today. Our next award will be talked about by our lovely access manager, Roland. So I'm going to invite him up.
All right, our collaborator award. This is a great award for PhillyCAM because this is really what PhillyCAM is all about, is folks collaborating on their shows. And our next award is actually going to go to a trio, not just one, but three folks. You'll often hear them referred to around PhillyCAM as the dream team. So we'll be like looking at what the reservations are for the day and be like, oh, so-and-so's got a show. Who's on their crew? Oh, they got the dream team. All right, we don't even have to worry. We don't even have to worry about a thing. So before I keep gushing about them, let me bring them up. Charles Clark, Don Butler, and we have a third member, Earl Weeks, who is not here today. But come on up, y'all. So before I turn the mic over to these guys, I just want to say nobody embodies what PhillyCAM is about more than these guys. And Earl, who couldn't be here today, is also a part of that. And they have their own shows, but then they also help with so many other shows. And I can say there are so many shows here at PhillyCAM that just would have died on the vine without the support of these guys making sure it happens, and have just continued to build their expertise over time. Now are resident experts in green screen, audio, all that stuff, and so have really just been game changers here. So give it up. Okay. Speech.
Yeah, speech, Charles. Give us some words.
You want me to say something, right? Okay. Hi. I said something.
Would you like some help? Would you like to learn? Would you like some people to mentor?
Collaborator award. You know, this is an honor. I don't do it for awards or recognition. That's not what we do. We come in to help produce quality content. At least we try. Sometimes the gremlins come out and extend the shoot, but beyond that, we're starting to get this process down. So if anybody needs any help, give him a call. Gretchen, Roland, Gabe, Allison. Well, that's the only staff in here. But all of the staff, if it wasn't for the staff, we couldn't do what we do. Thank you.
Boy, this one. Yes, excellent. Awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I think it was said, we get it. They're an amazing trio, and also just want to shout out Earl, who wasn't able to be here today. He will be here next week shooting a show, right? And so we're so happy to have some of our members who were really strong pre-COVID coming back and being just as strong as ever, and so very thankful. And if you need some people in your court to support your programming, those three are a really great place to start. We're going to move on to our Connector Award, and our lovely Debbie, programming director, is going to be telling us about that.
I need my cheat sheet here. This is my old school cue card. The Connector Award goes to a group or individual who exemplifies the fostering of partnerships, community inclusion, and use of medium for audience awareness. And the award goes to someone who has been a member for over 7 years, actively participating at PhillyCAM, attending and organizing events, serving on the board, helping other members, and producing the show Madre Tierra that is simulcast to radio and TV every week on current issues involving the Latino community to highlight the achievements of Spanish-speaking women. This April marks the 5th year she is hosting the annual Congreso event at PhillyCAM through her organization Centro Integral de la Mujer Madre Tierra, and dedicated to promoting female empowerment and gender equality, offered in a hybrid format to participants internationally. Please help me in honoring Ariane Bracho with the 2025 PhillyCAM Connector Award.
Mira, salir de tu país, donde tienes toda una vida hecha, donde eres alguien.
Look, to leave your country where you have your life made, where you are somebody,
Y llegar aquí con miedo y encontrar este espacio ha sido lo más sanador y lo más hermoso que a mí me ha pasado.
to come here in fear and to find this place is been the most healing and wonderful thing that's ever happened to me.
Hablaron de un llamado, efectivamente es un llamado, es un apostolado el trabajar por nuestras comunidades.
They talk about a call, and it is a call. It is a testimony to be a part of this community.
Y no importa las circunstancias que estén ocurriendo, tenemos que seguir trabajando por las comunidades y no podemos permitir que callen nuestras voces, porque nosotros estamos no dándole voz a la comunidad, sino haciendo que se escuche la comunidad. Muchísimas gracias.
And no matter the circumstances, we cannot allow to be silenced. We need to continue working for the community, not only because we owe them the work, but because we are the community. Thank you.
Gracias, Ariane. Amazing. Like Gretchen said at the beginning, right, that thread is through all of our work, and just being here, like we are, fighting against some of those things that are working to suppress us. So I'm so thankful to have Ariane and our lovely members that we're honoring today. And we have one more award we're gonna go to.
We are going to the Innovator Award. So actually, could I grab the... There we go. So the Innovator Award goes to a group or individual who exemplifies creative approaches to the production process through exploration, experimentation, and development of unique storytelling. And the recipient of this award absolutely has gone above and beyond to break barriers, to push the limits of what's possible in the radio studio, thinking about all forms of audio in the form of mixtapes, actual old school tape, as well as live performances in our tiny studio, miking up bands without mic stands, going out into the field, recording bands with a Tascam, a skill picked up here at PhillyCAM, getting great audio, and just highlighting local creators and, culture makers. So I want to, from the bottom of my heart, honor my friend, Honest Matt, and this goes to Honest Matt for for the ultimate mixtape.
When I came up here before, I thought that's what I was doing was, hey, I just want to say that I'm not an activist, but you guys know why they call them dreadlocks, right? It's a symbol, okay, of like the dreadful conditions sometimes that we, are subject to live in. And I don't think there's a better way, okay, to fight corporate greed, okay, than to participate. Like, I feel strongly about that. And this is a really good way. When I am on the radio, I say sometimes we are, I say we're nonprofit. I read the spiel from the radio, from the website a lot. But I say we're anti-corporate, and it's like there's no gatekeeper here, like this is us, like we can do this together, and so what an honor. And this is my mentor, really, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you to all our members, right? And definitely hoping to keep this energy and continue the legacy of honoring our members. So get out there, help each other, and maybe your face will be up here next time, right? Thank you all so much, firstly, for coming today, for hearing us out, and for celebrating us, and for being excited with us to look ahead. And thank you for helping us honor so many of our members in our community. And so we are going to break for lunch. We have delicious kati rolls from Masala Kitchen. So it's like Indian street food. It's so good. I'm like so excited. Please say thank you to Annika for hooking that up. So we're going to be eating that. It'll be in the garage where you'll be able to grab the food, eat, like, you know, we have some stuff outside. We have our commons area. And then we're going to be transforming our main studio while you guys are eating into a nice little dance party. With DJ Raymond Tyler is going to be turning up some beats in here. And so I want to see your dancing shoes after you get some food in your tummies. So thank you all so much. And I'll see you on the dance floor.